In the 1980s, Hollywood was full of hidden truths, with iconic actresses secretly navigating their love for women in a world that punished them for being open. Here are 10 unspoken secrets of lesbian actresses from that era, whose courage laid the groundwork for future LGBTQ+ visibility. Tina Turner, the legendary singer, is known for her iconic music and tumultuous personal life. While she was married to Ike Turner and faced many hardships, Tina also had same-sex relationships in the 80s. These relationships, like those of many other stars at the time, were kept under wraps for fear of losing her place in the music industry. Tina's story is a powerful reminder of the emotional and social barriers that many LGBTQ+ individuals faced during an era when the world of entertainment was far from accepting. Susan Sarandon, a renowned actress known for her roles in Thelma and Louise and Dead Man Walking, had a career that spanned several decades. While she was a vocal advocate for many social causes, Susan's personal life was more complicated. During her early years in Hollywood, she hid her same-sex relationships out of fear it would impact her career. The industry was rife with prejudice, and Susan wasn't willing to risk everything by coming out publicly. It wasn't until later in her career that Susan began using her platform to speak out on behalf of LGBTQ+ rights, gradually allowing her true self to emerge. Her story reflects the struggles many LGBTQ+ individuals faced, particularly in an era where coming out was still viewed as a taboo. Cynthia Nixon, best known for her role as Miranda Hobbs in Sex and the City, spent much of her early career in heterosexual relationships. However, she later realized that her true romantic feelings were for women. During the 80s, Cynthia maintained a public image of being heterosexual, avoiding the subject of her sexuality for fear of jeopardizing her career. It wasn't until she met Christine Marinoni in 2004 and publicly embraced their relationship that Cynthia finally felt she could live openly. Cynthia's journey is one of self-acceptance, demonstrating the transformation of Hollywood from a place where being openly gay was rare to one where LGBTQ+ individuals can now speak freely and live their truths. Kristy McNichol, the beloved actress from Family and Empty Nest, had a successful career in the 80s. However, her personal life was a mystery to most. Kristy had relationships with women, but kept them hidden from the public for fear of damaging her career. Living under constant stress, she kept her sexuality a secret for years. It wasn't until she stepped away from Hollywood in the 2010s and came out publicly that Kristy felt a sense of relief. Coming out allowed her to feel free from the burden of secrecy and social pressure, and she became a role model for others facing similar struggles. Melissa Etheridge, a prominent singer known for hits like Come to My Window and I'm the Only One, had her own secret same-sex relationships in the 80s. Although she came out publicly in 1993, her early years were marked by fear that acknowledging her sexuality would harm her music career. As one of the first musicians to publicly come out, Melissa became a trailblazer for the LGBTQ+ community in the music industry. Her coming out was groundbreaking, and it paved the way for other artists to live authentically, showing how the music industry began to shift toward greater acceptance in the 90s. Gina Gershon, known for her roles in Bound and Showgirls, had secret same-sex relationships in the 80s, but kept them hidden from the public eye. In a time when Hollywood was not welcoming to LGBTQ+ individuals, Gina feared that coming out would end her career. She chose to live with her private love affairs while maintaining her public persona. Her story illustrates the way in which many actresses had to remain in the closet, even when their personal lives conflicted with their public image. Marlo Thomas, an iconic television star from That Girl in the 60s and 70s, was celebrated for her role as an independent, witty, and charming woman. However, few knew that in the 80s, she had secret relationships with women, but couldn't afford to make her sexuality public. In an industry still deeply entrenched in conservatism, Marlowe feared that coming out would mean the end of her career. Despite being married to Phil Donahue and having a family, Marlowe couldn't deny her romantic feelings toward women. She later shared that she had to conceal her feelings, living in a constant state of anxiety until societal values shifted. The pressure to conform to heteronormative expectations was immense, and Marlowe's story highlights the intense personal struggle many actresses of the era faced. Jodie Foster, one of Hollywood's most talented actresses known for The Silence of the Lambs and Contact, has long been admired for her skill and undeniable talent. Yet, behind the scenes, Jodie lived with a closely guarded secret: her long-term relationship with Sidney Bernard. For years, Jodie refrained from publicly acknowledging their relationship, fearing it would jeopardize her career. It wasn't until she received a Golden Globe in 2013 that she openly acknowledged her sexuality during an emotional acceptance speech. This moment marked a significant shift not only in Jodie's life but in how the entertainment world began to embrace LGBTQ+ visibility. Her decision to live authentically demonstrates the intense difficulty of navigating the entertainment world as a closeted star in the 80s. Portia de Rossi, a beautiful and talented for Arrested Development and Scandal, secretly dated women in the 80s, but feared the repercussions of being publicly out. During a time when being openly gay could ruin careers, Portia lived with the constant fear of being rejected by industry. She later confessed that living with such fear was exhausting, and she longed to be free from hiding her true identity. It wasn't until she met Ellen DeGeneres in the early 2000s and began a public relationship with her that Portia felt she could live authentically. Their union became a milestone in Hollywood, symbolizing how far the industry had come toward accepting LGBTQ+ individuals. Portia's journey reflects the personal liberation she finally achieved when she no longer had to hide her love for Ellen. Linda Carter, the star of Wonder Woman, became a feminist icon in the 70s and 80s. Though she was married to Ike Turner and had a tumultuous relationship with him, Linda also had secret relationships with women. In an industry where LGBTQ+ individuals were often forced to stay in the shadows, Linda kept her romantic connections with women a secret. She shared that she always felt pressure to maintain a public persona that didn't clash with society's expectations. Despite her inner conflict, Linda felt isolated, unable to embrace who she truly was until society became more accepting. Her story underscores the challenges of being a public figure who is forced to live a lie, especially in the entertainment industry during that era. Sport, freestyle skiing, country, United States. A silver medalist at Sochi 2014, Gus Kenworthy shattered expectations when he came out as gay in 2015 in an ESPN cover story. His decision to share his truth while still actively competing made him one of the first openly gay male athletes in action sports, a field dominated by traditional masculinity. Gus didn't just stop at coming out. He became a public advocate, speaking at LGBTQ+ events, acting in mainstream shows, and even rescuing stray dogs in Russia during the Olympics. His visibility proved that gay men can be powerful, rugged, and unapologetically themselves. I didn't grow up with someone to look up to. That's why I came out. I wanted to be that person for the next generation. Sport, diving, country, United Kingdom. Tom Daley grew up in the public eye, competing at the Olympics when he was just 14. Behind the medals and TV cameras, he faced a quieter, more personal challenge, accepting his identity in a hyper-competitive, often macho environment. In 2013, Tom came out through a heartfelt YouTube video, and in doing so, helped pave the way for LGBTQ+ athletes everywhere. Since then, he's not only married Oscar-winning screenwriter Dustin Lance Black, but also become a father and a beloved advocate for queer visibility in sports. His gold medal win at Tokyo 2020, followed by photos of him knitting in the stands, made headlines worldwide. not just for his victory, but for his softness, his calm, and his pride. I feel incredibly proud to say that I am a gay man and also an Olympic champion. Sport, soccer, country, Canada. Quinn's name may be short, but their impact is monumental. In 2021, they became the first openly transgender and non-binary athlete to win an Olympic medal when Canada took gold in women's soccer at the Tokyo Games. Coming out in 2020, Quinn spoke openly about the anxiety and hope that came with living authentically on such a public stage. They use they/them pronouns and have pushed for greater understanding of gender diversity in sports, where binary categories often dominate. I feel proud seeing Quinn on the roster and my identity represented in sports. I hope this sparks change. Sport, basketball, country, United States. In 2013, Jason Collins made history as the first openly gay active player in a major American men's professional sport, NBA, NFL, MLB, NHL. At 7 feet tall, Jason had a long career as a dependable center in the NBA, but it was his coming out that truly changed the game. He faced both praise and backlash, but his bravery paved the way for others. Jason became a role model, meeting with President Obama, appearing on national talk shows, and working with advocacy groups to ensure that LGBTQ+ athletes feel supported. I'm a 34-year-old NBA center, I'm Black, and I'm gay. That one sentence changed sports forever. Sport, basketball, country, United States. Brittany Griner isn't just known for her height, 6'9", and slam dunks, she's known for her raw power and resilience. Since being drafted first overall in 2013, she's become one of the most dominant players in WNBA history, winning Olympic golds and championships with the Phoenix Mercury. Griner came out as gay early in her career and has been a fierce advocate for LGBTQ+ youth and racial justice. In 2022, she was wrongfully detained in Russia, sparking international outrage. Her strength during that traumatic ordeal only deepened her legacy as a fighter both on and off the court. I've always been true to myself. That's the only way I know how to live. Sport, football, country, United States. When Carl Nassib came out via Instagram in 2021, he didn't just make headlines, he made history. As the first openly gay active NFL player, his announcement was met with overwhelming support from fans, teammates, and the league itself. What made it even more powerful? He coupled his message with a $100,000 donation to the Trevor Project, helping LGBTQ+ youth in crisis. Carl's moment was proof that times are changing and that courage can exist even in the most tradition-bound spaces. I just want to take a quick moment to say that I'm gay. I've been meaning to do this for a while now. Simple, brave, revolutionary. Sport, soccer, country, United States. When Robbie Rogers came out in 2013, he initially retired from professional soccer. The fear of discrimination felt overwhelming, but the response from fans and teammates was so positive, he returned to the field with LA Galaxy later that year, making him the first openly gay male athlete to play in a top US professional soccer league. Since retiring, Robbie has built a family with his husband, TV producer Greg Berlanti, and continues to advocate for LGBTQ+ rights through writing, public speaking, and mentorship. For the first time in my life, I could play the game I loved as the person I truly was. Sport, snowboarding, country, Netherlands. Cheryl Maas is a Dutch snowboarding champion who's competed in multiple Winter Olympics. She's been openly gay since 2009 and is married to fellow snowboarder Stien Bruun-Keldas, with whom she shares 2 children. During the Sochi 2014 Olympics, held in Russia under a controversial anti-LGBTQ+ law, Cheryl subtly but powerfully protested by wearing gloves decorated with rainbow hearts. It was a quiet rebellion, but one that echoed loudly around the world. Visibility matters, even if it's through a rainbow on a glove. Sport, football, country, United States. In 2014, Michael Sam came out just before the NFL draft, becoming the first publicly gay player to be drafted into the NFL. The moment he kissed his boyfriend live on ESPN was historic and controversial. He never played a regular season game, but his legacy endures. Michael opened the floodgates. He made it okay for others to follow, and though his time in the NFL was short, his bravery helped shift a deeply entrenched culture. I am an openly proud gay man. I want to own that truth. Sport, soccer, country, United States. Megan Rapinoe isn't just a soccer superstar, she's a cultural force. With her signature pink hair, fiery spirit, and bold voice, she has become one of the most influential athletes of the 21st century. She helped lead the U.S. women's national team to victory in the 2015 and 2019 FIFA World Cups and secured Olympic gold in 2012. But Megan's power lies in more than just her footwork. She came out publicly as gay in 2012 and has since become an outspoken advocate for LGBTQ++ rights, racial justice, and gender equality. Whether she's kneeling in solidarity, calling out systemic bias, or kissing her fiancé, WNBA star Sue Bird, after a big win, Megan sends a clear message. Greatness is rooted in authenticity. Being a gay female athlete, I know what it means to look at someone who represents you and feel seen. I want to be that for others. Laverne Cox changed television, yes, but more importantly, she changed the way a generation of Americans saw transgender people. Not as victims or villains, but as whole human beings with beauty, brilliance, and agency. In 2025, Laverne has taken on a new mission: education. Her organization Transcend is launching mentorship hubs in over a dozen U.S. cities to provide community, mental health support, and scholarships for trans youth of color. She appears less on red carpets now and more in classrooms, town halls, and healing circles. I don't want to be the only one who made it out, she told Time in a 2025 cover story. I want to open the door so wide they forget there ever was one. When Billy Porter walks into a room, the walls widen. His presence alone is defiance. In his voice, his gowns, his blackness, his queerness, he embodies the kind of self-love many were taught to fear. In 2025, Porter's new album, Fabulous and Free, climbs charts while his TED Talk, Unlearning Shame, sparks a national conversation about identity, faith, and gender. But he's more than just a performer. Through his foundation, the House of Freedom, Billy is funding safe housing and arts programs for LGBTQ+ youth in cities like Detroit, Atlanta, and New Orleans. He says, I was once a kid in Pittsburgh with nowhere to go. If I can be the place to go for someone else, that's the real award. Karine Jean-Pierre made history not just by becoming the first Black, openly gay White House press secretary, but by doing the job with grace, grit, and soul. In 2025, she published Out Loud in the West Wing, a memoir that lays bare the microaggressions, the personal sacrifices, and the victories, both private and public, of being a queer Black woman in the world's most powerful political arena. The book is already being taught in college political science and gender studies programs. She writes, I walk into that press room with every Black queer girl who never thought she'd be allowed in the building, and I speak like we've always belonged there. Frank Ocean is one of the most elusive pop culture figures of our time, and one of the most beloved. He rarely appears in public, but his music continues to be the language of heartbreak, longing, and queer love. In 2025, after a 5-year silence, he released Mirrors in the Rain, an album that critics call a hymn for the unloved and the unforgettable. The songs speak of boys lost in the waves, memories that smell like salt and sex, and the quiet ache of wanting someone you can't name. Frank doesn't perform often, but when he does, he doesn't just sing, he creates a sanctuary. Wanda Sykes has been making people laugh since the 90s, but her comedy has never been more cutting or more necessary than in 2025. Her Netflix special, Wanda Unfiltered, is both hilarious and heartrending, taking on cancel culture, queer aging, interracial marriage, and parenting in a world where her family is still sometimes treated like an experiment. Wanda doesn't pull punches, but she always punches up. Through it all, she remains one of the few Black lesbian voices in mainstream media, and she holds that mantle with care. Being out, being funny, and being free. That's my protest, she says. Angelica Ross is not only a brilliant actress, she's a revolutionary. From homelessness to Hollywood, from coding boot camps to Capitol Hill, she's lived more lives than most and emerged a beacon of resilience. In 2025, Angelica opened Trans Tech Academy, a fully funded educational program teaching coding, entrepreneurship, and leadership to trans youth. Her vision isn't charity, it's infrastructure. She's helping build a future where trans people don't just survive, they lead. I'm not here to knock on doors anymore, she says. I'm building my own building, and everyone's invited in. Pulitzer Prize-winning poet Jericho Brown writes like his pen is dipped in both blood and honey. His words are tender and violent, holy and human, and always brave. In 2025, he released Hearts in Flight, a poetry collection that explores how Black queer men hold pain, pleasure, faith, and fury, often all at once. His poems are now featured in Black churches, queer bookstores, and even protest marches. Jericho says, "Every time I write a poem, I carve a space where a Black gay man doesn't have to explain himself. He just is." RuPaul Charles is drag royalty, but his real genius is spiritual. For over 3 decades, he has helped queer people, especially Black and brown kids, see themselves as powerful, beautiful, and worthy of joy. In 2025, at age 64, RuPaul shows no signs of slowing down. His fashion line Supermodel sells out globally. His memoir You Better Believe is an NYT bestseller, and his show RuPaul's School for Girls, a reality competition meets leadership boot camp, is changing young queer lives across the country. The message remains the same, and yet it feels more urgent than ever. You are the main character. Dress like it, walk like it, live like it. Bayard Rustin was the quiet mastermind behind the most iconic moment of the civil rights era, the 1963 March on Washington. But because he was openly gay, Rustin's name was often kept in the shadows of history. That silence is over. In 2025, Rustin's name graces the National Mall, where a new memorial, the Rustin Circle, stands not far from the steps where Dr. King once spoke. Activists and students gather there to reflect on his legacy of nonviolence, strategic brilliance, and the burden of being both Black and queer in a movement that was not always ready to embrace him. What we now understand is this: Rustin didn't just organize a march. He modeled the kind of moral leadership the world still struggles to emulate. James Baldwin's books remain as vital today as the day he wrote them. From Go Tell It on the Mountain to Giovanni's Room, Baldwin's words held America accountable while offering its most wounded children a mirror to see themselves. In 2025, a never-before-seen collection of Baldwin's letters to his lovers and fellow writers, titled Letters from Paris, is published, offering raw insight into his experiences as a queer Black man in exile. His letters echo with longing, rage, and a hope that feels hauntingly current. Baldwin's legacy isn't just literature, it's permission to feel deeply, to question loudly, to love defiantly. In classrooms and bookstores, he still whispers, "You have the right to exist." Joey Graceffa embodies resilience and boundless imagination. Growing up, he faced bullying and felt profoundly isolated, but storytelling became his salvation. His early YouTube gaming videos gave way to ambitious projects like Storytellers and escape the night that turned him into a fantasy powerhouse. Joey's heartfelt coming out video in 2015 was a cultural touchstone, where he beautifully combined art and authenticity. Instead of distancing himself from his identity, he wove it into his creative work, proving that being LGBTQ+ can be a superpower, not a limitation. Today, in 2025, Joey is not only producing queer-led fantasy films, but also funding scholarships for LGBTQ+ youth in the arts. His mission: to make sure no queer child grows up thinking their dreams are impossible. Davey Wavy isn't just about education, he's about liberation. His work focuses on dismantling shame and stigma around LGBTQ+ bodies, relationships, and sexuality. With humor, sensitivity, and honesty, Davey tackles subjects that mainstream media often ignores or misrepresents. His projects normalize intimacy, body positivity, and emotional connection, showing that every expression of love is worthy. Today, he's running the Ripple Effect, a nonprofit using online platforms to provide free LGBTQ+ wellness resources around the world, particularly in regions where such education is still taboo or dangerous. Few couples have used their love as a weapon for justice as effectively as Bria and Chrissy. Their songs, sketches, and deeply emotional vlogs document a journey of resilience, from fighting for marriage equality to navigating discrimination and censorship. They survived YouTube's algorithm changes that once deprioritized LGBTQ+ content, responding by creating their own independent platforms to tell unfiltered stories. In 2025, they've co-authored a best-selling parenting book for queer families and launched a nonprofit that provides legal resources and financial aid to LGBTQ+ parents facing discrimination. Benny Drama proves that comedy can be a revolutionary act. Through his hilarious, razor-sharp sketches, Benito exposes the absurdities of societal expectations while celebrating queer culture with love and flair. His characters, from over-the-top influencers to painfully relatable suburban moms, became internet phenomena because they were funny, yes, but also deeply insightful. Now, in 2025, Benny's satirical show, Drama Heights, is winning awards, and his foundation, Laugh Proudly, funds emerging queer comedians around the world. Mitchell and Gregory are living proof that queerness belongs in every corner of society, including labs and lecture halls. With their brilliant, easy-to-understand videos, they've made science exciting, inclusive, and empowering for millions. Coming out publicly as a couple wasn't just about personal honesty. It was a radical act in a field where LGBTQ+ voices are still underrepresented. Their platform is a beautiful fusion of love, curiosity, and visibility. In 2025, they are co-authoring a children's book series titled Little Scientists, Big Dreams, featuring queer, disabled, and BIPOC scientists as heroes. Tyler Oakley's journey from a small-town Michigan boy to a world-renowned digital pioneer is nothing short of legendary. When Tyler first uploaded videos during his college years, YouTube was barely recognized as a career path, and being openly gay online was seen as risky. But Tyler's fearless humor, quick wit, and passionate advocacy for LGBTQ+ youth struck a nerve. He helped normalize coming-out narratives at a time when few dared. His activism extended offline too, hosting events with the Trevor Project, fundraising for LGBTQ+ causes, and meeting with politicians to advocate for inclusive policies. In 2025, Tyler's legacy has only grown. He produces award-winning documentaries on queer history, hosts national pride broadcasts, and runs workshops nurturing young LGBTQ+ content creators. He remains a symbol of hope, endurance, and unstoppable pride. Connor Franta's path is a masterclass in authenticity. Initially known for funny, relatable videos, Connor's content evolved dramatically after his deeply personal coming-out video. A watershed moment that showed audiences vulnerability could be revolutionary. Connor's talents stretch far beyond YouTube. His photography, poetry, and essays reflect a soul-searching artist who embraces both light and shadow. His books, a work in progress, Housefires, became New York Times bestsellers, praised for their raw honesty about identity, depression, fame, and love. In 2025, Connor runs an independent publishing house amplifying LGBTQ+ writers and artists. His impact reminds us that storytelling, real, raw storytelling, can heal both the creator and the world. James Charles broke the beauty industry's gates wide open and rebuilt them in his image. From the moment he became CoverGirl's first male ambassador, James challenged the idea that beauty had boundaries. Amidst triumphs and controversies, James stayed unapologetically himself. His vibrant tutorials, viral makeup challenges, and larger-than-life collaborations made beauty accessible to everyone. He taught millions that makeup is an art form, and gender has no say in who gets to create. In 2025, James is leading a global initiative providing mentorship, scholarships, and resources to queer artists in the beauty industry, ensuring the next generation of LGBTQ+ creatives have everything they need to soar. Kat Black is a storyteller, activist, and visionary whose voice echoes far beyond YouTube. Her channel is a masterclass in intersectionality, seamlessly connecting feminism, race, trans rights, and social justice. Kat's ability to blend personal experience with nuanced education creates an environment where learning feels personal, urgent, and transformative. Rather than shy away from controversy, she dives headfirst into difficult conversations, making complex issues accessible and human. In 2025, Kat is a keynote speaker at international human rights conferences, and her video series on trans history is now used in universities across the US and Canada. Samantha Lux is the trusted friend and educator that many transgender youth wish they had. Her videos combine scientific facts, legal updates, and heartfelt personal narratives to tackle myths, misinformation, and prejudice head-on. Starting with documenting her own transition journey, Samantha has become a crucial figure in the fight for trans visibility and healthcare rights. Her candidness about both the triumphs and the difficulties paints a full picture of trans life, one filled with resilience, joy, and complexity. In 2025, Samantha is collaborating with medical institutions to ensure transgender patients receive compassionate, informed care, turning digital advocacy into real-world change. Tanner Adell, a rising star in country music, has become one of the most notable LGBTQ+ figures in a genre that has traditionally been less inclusive of queer identities. In 2025, she came out as pansexual, an announcement that was groundbreaking for country music, a genre often associated with more conservative views. Tanner's bravery in coming out has paved the way for more LGBTQ+ individuals to feel welcome in the country music space. Her powerful songs, which explore themes of love and acceptance, have struck a chord with fans across the country. Tanner's decision to embrace her authentic self, even in a genre where LGBTQ+ representation is still limited, is an inspiring example of how art can break barriers. Her ongoing journey shows that country music can indeed be a place where diverse identities are not only accepted, but celebrated. Demi Lovato has long been a champion of self-acceptance and mental health advocacy. As one of the most prominent figures in the entertainment world, Demi made headlines when she publicly came out as queer in 2021, and since then, she has continued to break boundaries. In 2025, she remains at the forefront of LGBTQ+ advocacy in Hollywood, embracing her truth both in her personal life and through her music. Demi's 2025 performances, such as her highly anticipated set at a major hotel opening in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico, were met with overwhelming applause. She performed fan favorites like Cool for the Summer, a track that has become iconic in the LGBTQ+ community for its playful celebration of queer love. Through her advocacy work, Demi encourages others to live authentically and unashamedly. As a role model for so many, her journey continues to inspire individuals in the LGBTQ+ community to live their truth with pride and confidence. Jade Carey, the Olympic gymnast known for her incredible feats on the balance beam and floor exercise, has always been a figure of resilience in the sports world. In 2025, Jade took the brave step of coming out publicly and sharing her same-sex relationship with the world. Her announcement was met with overwhelming support, both from her fans and from the LGBTQ+ community. In a world where sports, especially gymnastics, have been historically less accepting of LGBTQ+ identities, Jade's decision to live openly has been a powerful symbol of change. Her courage is paving the way for young athletes who might be struggling with their own identity to realize that they don't have to choose between their love for sports and their authentic selves. Jade's ongoing success in the gym and her visibility as an openly queer athlete have made her an inspiration to many, reinforcing the idea that love and self-acceptance have no boundaries, not even in the world of competitive sports. Track and field star Yared Nuguse has swiftly become one of the most prominent figures in the LGBTQ+ sports world. A gifted runner, Nuguse has racked up impressive achievements in the world of athletics, but his decision to publicly come out as gay in 2025 has further solidified his place as an important figure for both sports fans and the LGBTQ+ community. As one of the few openly gay athletes in elite track and field, Nuguse has used his platform to challenge stereotypes and break down barriers in a sport that is often seen as conservative when it comes to LGBTQ+ representation. His boldness has encouraged other athletes to embrace their true selves, showing that success and self-acceptance can go hand in hand. Nuguse continues to be a beacon of hope for those who need role models in both the sports world and the broader LGBTQ+ community, proving that authenticity and excellence are not mutually exclusive. Lara Rajagopalan is an up-and-coming artist in the indie pop music scene who has captivated audiences with her evocative and genre-blending sound. In 2025, she publicly came out as queer, embracing the fluidity of her identity with a lighthearted but profound statement about love and relationships. Her music has always been a reflection of her personal journey, and with her coming out, Lara's work has taken on an even more significance. Through songs that explore themes of love, identity, and self-discovery, Lara is making an impact not only as a musician, but also as an advocate for LGBTQ+ representation in music. Her openness and authenticity resonate with young queer fans who are searching for voices that reflect their own experiences. Lara's ability to balance vulnerability and confidence in her music makes her a powerful force in the industry, and she continues to use her platform to normalize diverse expressions of love and identity. Tini Chiricillo made history as one of the first openly trans men to compete on Survivor, a reality TV show where personal authenticity is often put to the test. In a space traditionally known for its cutthroat competition and sometimes harsh scrutiny, Tini's decision to come out was both a personal and professional milestone. His willingness to share his trans identity with the world has opened doors for other trans individuals in the world of reality TV, proving that visibility matters in all forms of entertainment. Through his participation on Survivor, Tini has shown that you can be vulnerable, strong, and true to yourself, all while competing in an intensely public environment. His courage has inspired countless others in the LGBTQ+ community to step into the spotlight and embrace their identity unapologetically. Actor Cooper Koch has been gaining recognition for his standout roles in films like Monsters, The Lyle and Eric Menendez Story. In 2025, he came out as gay and has since been open about his relationship with director Stuart McClave. Cooper's willingness to be transparent about his sexuality has made him an important figure in Hollywood, where LGBTQ+ representation remains a work in progress. His honesty and charm on and off screen have made him a relatable figure for fans who might struggle with similar experiences of self-acceptance. By sharing his journey, Hooper is not only advocating for queer representation in the film industry, but also helping to shift the cultural narrative around LGBTQ+ individuals in Hollywood. His growing career and open-hearted approach to his personal life have made him a powerful voice for change. Colman Domingo is one of the most respected actors in Hollywood today, known for his roles in films like Ma Rainey's Black Bottom and If Beale Street Could Talk. Colman is also a passionate advocate for the LGBTQ+ community, particularly for queer people of color, a group that has often been overlooked in mainstream media. In 2025, Colman continues to break new ground in Hollywood, not only through his acting, but also through his leadership and advocacy. As an openly gay man of color, Colman uses his platform to elevate the voices of marginalized groups and to ensure that Hollywood reflects the full spectrum of human experience. His journey as an actor, director, and advocate is an inspiration to many, demonstrating that success in Hollywood is not only about talent, but also about using one's influence to create a more inclusive, diverse, and equitable industry. Comedian Jared Carmichael has always been known for his honest, boundary-pushing comedy. His groundbreaking 2022 HBO special, Nathaniel, marked a significant turning point in his career as he publicly came out as gay. In a space where LGBTQ+ voices were often overlooked, Carmichael's decision to speak candidly about his sexuality was both a bold and necessary move. Since then, he has continued to use his platform to address LGBTQ+ issues with a mix of humor, vulnerability, and razor-sharp social commentary. In 2025, he is set to release Don't Be Gay, a project that explores the complexities of identity, fame, and societal expectations. Carmichael's unflinching honesty has resonated deeply with both queer and non-queer audiences, offering a space where humor and personal truth intersect. His work in comedy has become a beacon for anyone seeking to reconcile their own identities with a sometimes critical world. Known for her starring role on Grey's Anatomy, Alexis Floyd is another example of how far the entertainment industry has come in terms of LGBTQ+ representation. Alexis's journey toward embracing her queer identity has been one of self-discovery, and she shared this pivotal moment with her fans in 2025. Her coming-out story resonated with many, as it wasn't just about her identity, but about the larger importance of visibility and acceptance. In interviews, Alexis has spoken about the significance of seeing more queer individuals in leading roles, particularly in a show as influential as Grey's Anatomy. As an advocate for LGBTQ+ rights, Alexis uses her platform to amplify the voices of marginalized communities. Through her work, she helps foster a culture of inclusivity, not just on screen but within the industry itself, where people of all identities deserve to be seen and celebrated. Say it, type it, share it. You never know who else might need to hear your words. Say it, type it, share it. You never know who else might need to hear your words. Born June 15, 1973. Residence New York City and East Hampton, NY. A beloved Emmy and Tony-winning actor, Harris rose to fame in Doogie Howser MD and gained global recognition through How I Met Your Mother. With his husband David Burtka and their twins, he's a proud LGBTQ+ parent and advocate. Born March 24, 1973, residence, New York City. Best known as Sheldon Cooper on The Big Bang Theory, Parsons is a 4-time Emmy winner. He came out publicly in 2012 and married art director Todd Spiewak in 2017. Born October 11, 1977, residence, Los Angeles, CA. A Golden Globe winner for The Normal Heart, Bomer has also starred in White Collar and Magic Mike. He is married to publicist Simon Halls and is the father of 3 children. Born March 26, 1985, residence, New York City. Groff gained early fame in Spring Awakening and later starred in Glee, Mindhunter, and Frozen. He's also known for his openness about being gay and his close friendship with co-star Lea Michele. Born September 21, 1969, residence, New York City. An Emmy, Grammy, and Tony-winning performer, Porter is best known for Pose and his trailblazing red carpet fashion. He's a vocal advocate for Black and LGBTQ+ communities. Born July 13, 1988, residence, Los Angeles, CA. Known for roles in Teen Wolf and Arrow, Haynes came out in 2016 after years of speculation. His memoir shares struggles with fame, addiction, and identity. Born April 15, 1979, residence, London and Los Angeles. A Welsh actor and singer, Evans starred in Beauty and the Beast, Dracula Untold, and 9 Perfect Strangers. He is known for living openly and unapologetically. Born July 12, 1975, residence, Los Angeles, CA. Jackson is a Broadway star and television actor, 30 Rock, American Horror Story, who has been openly gay for years. He's married to actor Jason Landau and is a father of twins. Born June 2, 1972, residence, Vancouver and Los Angeles. The Prison Break star came out in 2013 and has since been an advocate for mental health and LGBTQ+ youth, particularly those dealing with depression and identity issues. Born November 14, 1981, residence, London and Los Angeles. An English actor with credits in Looking, Years and Years, and The History Boys, Tovey is also active in visual arts and queer advocacy. Born June 3, 1967, residence, New York City. The CNN anchor and journalist came out publicly in 2012 and is a father to 2 boys. His honesty and integrity have made him a respected media figure globally. Born August 9, 1983, residence, Toronto and Los Angeles. Levy is best known for co-creating and starring in Schitt's Creek, a show praised for its inclusive and non-traumatic queer storylines. He's a proud voice in queer storytelling. Born May 21, 1994, residence, London, Los Angeles. Olympic gold medalist diver and LGBTQ+ activist, Daly came out in 2013. He's married to screenwriter Dustin Lance Black, and the couple are raising a son. Born September 24, 1993, residence, New York City. Tony-winning star of Dear Evan Hansen and Netflix's The Politician, Platt is known for blending pop music with vulnerability and queer identity. Born April 20, 1937, residence, Los Angeles, CA. The Star Trek legend came out publicly in 2005 and has since become a powerful voice for LGBTQ+ rights and Japanese American history. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to watch this video. Whether you stayed for a few seconds, watched all the way through, dropped a like, or left a kind comment, you made a difference, and I felt it.